mission, and we were discussing what we were going to do about that.
Mm-hmm. And I know that Azure was hyper, but willing to perform an augury, read, and so asked Kozua to brew some kind of herbal tea to bring her down. But before that, Nida pulled out the crystal snail, and from Kozua's perspective, that crystal was glowing incredibly, painfully bright.
Yes.
And so it is the middle of the night. It's probably, shortly before midnight. You are in this like concrete building. It is pretty comfy inside, and outside you have the colorful graffiti. I think you are all there, and you're all awake. The others don't see the shining light from the crystal snail. It's only Kozua who sees it.
So can we start with Nida pulling it out?
Mm-hmm.
So when you pull out the crystal snail, Kozue visibly recoils with her, and closes her eyes and puts one hand in front of her face.
I'll quickly put the crystal snail back. Are you okay?
Yes. It's simply too bright to look on this close. What is it?
We found and at this point, I'm going to turn and look at Azure and say, how would you even describe that facility where we found Sarko, and he had to go under water to get to it. He had to use our diving suits to get into it.
So how does Azure react to that? I mean, does the player remember?
Vaguely. There's so many adventures. I know that we went underground, that he had to wear the diving suit to go under there, but I totally forget what happened.
Okay, hang on a second. Let me go back to the notes. There was that herd of gazelles with the gemstone eyes on the lake, and the crystal in the middle of the lake, and the lake was basically made of oil.
Yeah, it was a lake made of oil, and in the middle of the lake there was this gigantic green glowing crystal.
And so Sarko and Van Liga entered the crystal, and they got some dust on them. It seemed to be some kind of crystalline infection. And they wound up leading down, finding the staircase leading down. So then, I don't recall Sarko or Van Liga telling us much about what happened in there, but they brought up a body that was in a suit of armor, and the suit of armor was effectively acting as some kind of life support system. And so they did some unusual things and were able to transfer the consciousness that was in this decayed body into this crystal, which we've used to store memories and consciousness before. This is actually a satrap crystal, which stores their memories and acts as a virtual backup for them.
If I may add some information, I think that is information that Nida would remember, and that is important for Kozua. It was a ghost. It was an ultra that had possessed like an old body, and it was obvious from the whole setup that the creature must have been either very much revered or very much feared, because it was, in this oily lake, within a crystal, underground, behind a dimensional port, guarded by radiation ghosts and like a green magical warding fire, inside a tank, inside a suit. So it was like protected by this rings and rings and rings and rings of protection. And it was an ultra called Zoba.
Zoba. And that's what this, and the snail is the trap of souls, memories.
It's a satrap's portable backup. We have used, I came by it from a satrap that we traveled with, Satrap 88. And we've used it in the past to try to, well, we transferred Johnny Seven's consciousness into it to try to preserve Johnny Seven's consciousness in it. And Saffron's consciousness was inadvertently drawn in along with Johnny Seven's. So we were able to, well, retrieve a backup of Saffron, I suppose, after Saffron's original form ceased function, if you will. I believe that's a good way to put it in Saffron's worldview. So yeah, this is not the first time that we've used this crystal snail, to store a consciousness.
Yes. This ghost, if you will, Zoba, that was discovered within the armor inside this very elaborate thing that you have said, is extraordinary. You have a entity in there that verges on the what's the good word? Heroic level, minor deity.
After all these years, Soba, when Soba had a vessel that they could speak from again, the first thing they said was that they had to get a message to the Free Will Coalition. That is the task they had left undone in life.
And the Soba is indeed what was inside all of that. I've never seen a trapped spirit of this power. Only free ones.
Well, we've been working at finding some physical form for Soba to inhabit.
In order to do what? Yeah, is this Soba a known entity to you? Are you certain of their beneficence?
Is anyone certain of anything?
I mean, to the degree that you can be. Do you have reason to believe?
I believe a great many things, and I operate on instinct with most of them.
Of course.
Do I have any proof? No.
What do you believe Soba wants to do? Why do you wish to embody them?
They struck me as good or well-intentioned.
And their intention is?
Their most recent intention was to inform an organization of disaster, and that organization no longer exists. What their intent is now, who can say?
There's a way. I'm asking this question because while finding a permanent vessel for an entity like Soba is quite difficult. One has to essentially create a body missing a soul, or else strip the soul from a body, which is a type of magic I do not countenance.
Of course not.
It has awful repercussions in addition to being loathsome. But there is a way to give an entity like Soba temporary possession, if you will.
Well,
If that's useful and desirable. Do you
perhaps
think
we
it is?
should figure out whether. Perhaps we should figure out Soba's intentions first,
Perhaps
as opposed to
should.
just my instincts.
Mhm. I can try to speak with them.
What do you need?
Well, or you could try to speak with them. Which is better?
Honestly, most of my intelligence is bound up in trying to be able to read situations and know when someone is ready to pull a knife or a gun.
Yes.
I'm not much of one for.
The Soba doesn't have to pull a knife or a gun. I think they are one or have one.
Well, I'm just saying that I can't trust my instincts for the caravan.
I understand. Well, I have dealt with a spirit this powerful before on one occasion. And so I am not completely unaware of how to deal with them.
Well, then it sounds like you're the better person to deal with this, or at least to speak to Soba. We had very little time to speak with Soba initially, because once we opened the armor that they were encased in, as you might say, the clock was ticking. We had to get them transferred into the snail.
Of course. I do think it's important that if you are going to be taking Soba with you, then you should understand them better.
Of course.
Otherwise, the likelihood of someone or something recognizing what you have and doing something unexpected is high at some point.
This is good counsel.
Anyone who has dealt with spirits before can this. All right then. Give me a little time to protect myself to the degree that I can. And so Kazua starts to root through her bag and takes out some dried mushrooms and chews one of them. Takes out a little vial of dark, it looks like a sort of a dark resin or juice of some sort. Pours it into a bowl. It takes out a brush and begins to paint patterns on her forearms. She places certain objects around her, and finally she says, "I'm ready. If you would take the knot again."
Do you need me to cover with my hand or anything to protect your eyes? Or
No, I'm going to be blind during this entire thing. That's unavoidable. But I can withstand it. And you see she's got a glassy look in her eyes, probably from whatever it is she ate.
And where did you want me to put it again?
you can hold it. You can set it on the ground here, whatever. It doesn't seem to do you any harm. So
It hasn't so far.
yes.
In that case, I'll just hold it. And I'll pull it out from the cloak.
So, sorry, Brandon.
Yes.
You can't do the augury again. This is.
I'm not trying to do that.
Okay. Because you are. I think you're still injured, aren't you?
Oh yes, absolutely. No, I'm not. I'm just going to uncork the bottle and set my fetch
Yes.
out.
Yes.
And if it wants to communicate, it can. So I open the pink bottle that I have.
And
lay it on the ground.
Yes, the dragon slowly emerges from the bottle and circles the crystal, and you can see that the crystal. Well, you have closed your eyes, but you can feel as well the presence of the spirit inside, and you can see it reacting to your fetch. How would the dragon communicate with you?
Well, it's part of me.
Everything it knows, you know.
Yes, it's actually a piece of me. If it were to be destroyed, it would hurt me terribly.
So what you feel is the presence in the so the crystal is some kind of hard drive, if we want to make a crude computer analogy, which means no process is actuated. There's nothing like there's no personality or something going on within the crystal. It's pure like ghost energy, if you will. It's purely acting on instinct. It's sub or unconscious at the moment, and it has just this one instinct, which is to escape. So it's reaching out for someone or something that it could reach, but it seems to be confined to the crystal space.
I am going to try to communicate with it, if necessary, on a very sort of subverbal level, with pictures. And what I am trying to communicate is that I am willing to allow it out for a brief period, but then it has to go back. And so I'm trying to make it agree to this. Agreements are powerful in the spirit world, and it's not necessarily going to keep to it, but it will bind it to some extent.
So there is a risk in that approach.
It's a very risky approach, but carrying that thing around is risky too.
Okay, so you feel these penetrating tendrils trying to enter your personality, and it's pure rage. It's pure like mindless aggression.
Aggression rather than rage. Yeah. Or does it feel? Or does it feel like destructive anger?
Yeah, maybe. Rage is not the right. It's purely instinctive. It's lashing out. It's not a conscious decision of someone.
Understood. My response to this is not antagonistic. but it is entirely calming, maternal, embracing. And in other words, yes, of course, you want this so much, and you can have it for a time, but you have to work with me. That's the the message, the emotional message to she, because this is purely emotional communication. So she is trying to gently shape these tendrils into something less like claws and more like hands.
Beautiful. And mechanically, what do you bet? What do you raise?
It said 3, so
Yes.
I will say 6.
Nice. And the others, so Azure, you are a witch yourself, and Altan is a demon hunter. So I would assume that you have some inkling of what's going on. I could imagine that you can see that Kuzu is getting paler than her normal, like her face is ashen maybe, and there's like sweat beads. How do you react?
Well, I know that there's I know there's business afoot. That's it's in our wheelhouse. I don't think, because I'm an oracle, I don't think I know the ins and outs of this particular. It's like I speak German and this is French. You know what I mean? So, but I know that there's some powerful business afoot. Is there any way that I could hook in or touch Kazuo to add like support to bump the roll up or anything like that?
I mean, you would have to describe what you're doing, what you're trying to do.
Kazuo, would that be something that you'd be cool with? I mean,
no, absolutely, go for it, guys.
All right.
It makes perfect sense.
Okay.
That you and Altan would know something to do to help in a struggle of this.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, I've already mellowed out, didn't I?
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'm already in that mellowed out state where I'm kind of back to my normal, where I'm not totally sketchy. So I just grab all of my materials, like for my oracle stuff, like my incense and my the pillow I sit on to initiate the thing, and I light up a big extra large pile of the incense, because inhaling it is calming, and it brings your body temperature down or whatever. Then I sit next to Kazuo, and I'll sit behind Kazuo, and then I'll put both my hands on her shoulders, and I'll go into my oracle trance. Yet I'm not really trying to see what happens. Oh, Kazuo, sorry. I kind of want to present myself as a battery. As a backup battery. So if there's extra, and channel my energy into Kazuo, and assist her in combating this creature.
Yeah. And Altan?
Oh, I mean, Alton is kind of dumb and not at all wise. I think Alton, for a few moments, when she's going into this trance, just keeps trying to because I'm pretty certain she's faking it. This is all that flim flam of the rainbow landers. I go, wah! Ah! In her face a couple times, and when she doesn't respond because she's in too good of a trance, I'm just like, Causeway, I know you can hear me.
So I would say that Azure's and Altan's support, I make in quotations mark that nobody's seeing, cancel each other out. So Azure is trying to calm Kuzui, and Altan is trying to rile her up. And but anyways, the first round is Kuzui is trying to embrace turning the tendrils, the sharp tendrils into hands, and whatever these hands seem to grab you and pulling you towards the crystal, not physically, but obviously your soul, or because you are immobile, it seems to pull itself out of the crystal, maybe with a bit less of an aggression, but still with a force of will.
Yes.
And you know that if in that state as it is now, it would be an invader, not a guest.
Yes.
And I bet 10. And so you could hope that Soba doesn't succeed, that I fail.
Yes, I understand. I'm going to do something which I think it will not expect. It moves towards me as an invader, and I invite it in.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, it's trying to break down the door, and before it can break down the door, I'll open the door and gesture, metaphorically speaking.
Mm-hmm.
So that I'm trying to change, pull the rug out up from under it, change the rules, and and if, as I hope, it has overreached,
Mm-hmm.
then it will be using the rules of guest. It will be balanced by guest right, as it were.
Yes.
And so I'm going to have it roll.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way that I can assist at this point?
You tell me.
Is there any visible strain or stress on Kozue at this point?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
She's trying to deal with something that's trying to do something which we have a line about.
Mm-hmm.
Ajax.
That's trying to assault her in an intimate fashion.
Yeah. Ajax, you've helped me communicate with things that I couldn't communicate with before. I need you to plug me into Kozue.
I think for the first time that you know Ajax, he doesn't express his normal like swagger,
Sarcasm.
Sarcasm and brash personality. It's can you describe Ajax for a second?
Oh, sure. He's an exiled cat lord. He's a black cat and kind of shimmers a little bit oddly. It's almost like there's a sort of odd iridescence underneath the black coat. And his claws are longer than you would expect. You know, he's not the size of a house cat. He's larger, about the size of a bobcat.
Mm-hmm.
And well, he's quite deadly. He has a lengthy tail, and at the end of it, there's, what did we say? Was it more like spikes or thorns? Like you might
thorns, I think, because he can also plant these thorns into people.
he can use his tail like a mace and like leave those thorns in people. He can launch the thorns in people almost like it's a blow dart. And the thorns have a narcotic substance on the tip that will knock people out, which allows Ajax to either knock someone out or just go in for the kill. He's also telepathic and communicates with me through telepathy, and he's usually he's telling me how bad of a job I'm doing and how he could do it much better, but he's just too tired to try.
That's exiled lords for you. They're all bitter.
And so Ajax looks you in the eye, and you can see that the tail is swinging from one side to the other. And he says, "Are you sure?"
No, but let's do it anyway.
I have a bad feeling about this.
I have a
Very
bad feeling about lots of things.
But,
you know, whatever happens, it's been good to know you.
and so the problem I see here is, did you use your, you have 2 attunements, obviously, per day, so you can use Ajax anyways. All right, I think this is not really in his wheelhouse, so I would have to have you make a roll.
Sure thing.
Because so he can like telepathically communicate with people, but now you trying to get linked into a spirit fight, I think. Yeah, I think it probably is. I don't know. What do you think? Could be intelligence if it's a certain strategy. If you like try to guide him. Wisdom is like your soul, if you will. I could see like Constitution as you are the anchor for his efforts.
You know, the one that I initially thought of was Wisdom, and as much as I'd love to roll with 13,
yes,
I feel like with the time I spent with Ajax, that's basically the accumulated knowledge of our experience together, correct? I feel like Wisdom makes a little bit more sense.
Okay.
So, and then because I have Yellowlander next to it, I roll with advantage.
Don't think that Yellowlander plays a role in this case.
All right. So basically, I've got a 50-50 shot, correct?
All
right.
And what mechanically what it
9
would
under
do
10
is like yes. So Kazua, you add 1 to your new wisdom score. Do you want to review your bet? As in, do you want to see, or do you now want to raise, now that you know that you have 1 point more to spend?
And I'm probably not getting any bonus for the Mountain of Heritage. Unless that's you tell me.
Yeah, I don't think that it's part of the you're a mountain.
We deal with spirits.
It's part of your heritage for sure. Yeah, what I would say is normally what this gives you is a re-roll. So you would roll twice, and if you're unhappy about the first roll, you can roll again, I think is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. 11.
So you're betting 11, and
yes, I like cats. I'm very pleased to see one.
Yeah.
Is-
So how does a NIDA? So you see. So let's get this visually. There is this invading force that's trying to enter your personality,
Yes.
and you're already willing to gamble and let them inside, although you know that there is a certain aggression and
Yes.
lack of control. But then you see two beautiful eyes, and it's the beautiful eyes of a cat lord, and they shine almost like guiding moons
Yes.
that remind you of your power as a mountain elf.
I smile and I I say to the eyes, "Can you purr?"
And you hear like a deep, soothing purr.
Perfect. Thank you. And so yes, so the action is the same, but
Mhm.
but rather than hoping that that Soba will stumble, I'm actively welcoming them in,
Yeah.
trying to take them by the hand and guide them in to a place reserved for them, but it is by my action and not theirs.
Oh, now it's time for the dice to hit the table, because I'm not going to raise further.
Okay.
I want to see.
Okay.
So just to know, what is your new wisdom score?
My new wisdom score with the +1 is a 19.
Wow. Okay, so you're betting above 11 but below 19.
But is above 11 include 11? Just out of curiosity. Not that it would change my.
That is a good. I think it is above. So I will double check. Give me a second, because this
And
is
then-
important.
19 would be a critical success, correct?
Hold on a second. So 16, one.
I'm still never going to forgive that person who posted the video of themselves filling up their UVG or their white hack journal with all the sketches and everything in it. It's just like, God, how can you be so good at so many things? It's not even remotely fair.
Yeah, if you make a bit of 2, it means more than 2.
More than 2. Okay.
Yeah, so in this case, 12, between 12 and 19.
Okay. Ready.
Ready.
So that was a consequential answer.
Yes, it was.
So close. Okay. Focus. Strike.
So
this is the reroll.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh. Nice. Okay, so for a second, I think you see her body like being in convulsion, and the eyes open, and there are these just white glowing eyes, and then she closes her eyes again, and she's her. And Kozue, you feel a presence of someone who is confused, not angry, not in an evil intent, but confused about where she is and what's going on.
It's a she. It's appropriate to say she.
Yes, Soba.
Okay.
Soba is a she.
I will let Soba use my voice at this point, since she's a guest now.
And
so I say to Naida, talk to her, and then I relax and let her use my voice.
And the first thing that she says is in, I think, in the Black City alphabet. So nobody understands what is said, but it sounds very, very grave. Like every word seems to be, every syllable seems to be cut in stone. And then she, like you see Kozue shaking her head, and Soba's voice says, like a croaking voice, you promised me a buddy.
We're working on it. We're trying.
I was imprisoned for 1,000 years.
You were for a while, yes.
Time doesn't pass in this crystal prison.
I'm not sure whether that's a blessing or curse.
It could have been 1,000 years more. Help me.
We're trying. There are some villagers on this island who are open to possession, and we're trying to see if one of them will allow you to inhabit their body for a while.
I'm not going back into the crystal.
You can stay here.
Yeah,
you are welcome. I basically say you can stay here. You can feel what I feel, see what I see, touch what I touch, until such time as we find you a more permanent residence. You don't have to go back.
You can feel like her anger flaring up when she said, "I'm not going back inside this prison." But when you invite her to stay, the anger fades away.
Yes, you're safe here. Things will be well. We will find you a proper home. And we are sorry that you are imprisoned for so long. That should never happen to anyone.
Thank you, sister.
You are most welcome. And blessings on you for working with me here.
And you feel sober, like moving into the background, but you still have the presence. And the presence is a very, it's not obviously, it's not a negative presence, but it is definitely a distracting presence.
Yes, well, I'll have to deal with it.
And mechanically speaking, I want to say it's you get a new penalty on your wisdom, and I roll it. Just roll. Oh, can you roll a d4, please?
Sure. 1d4. Commit. 2.
2, and then you would have to write that down next to current wisdom.
Okay. Got it.
Okay, but the feeling of tension, like, completely is gone in the room. So how does the rest react, or do you go back to sleep?
Anything more, Nida? This isn't a malevolent spirit, whatever her background.
That was the thing that most concerned you.
Yeah.
I was just...
She had the fear and anger of anyone who has been imprisoned for a long period of time. And I don't know what she wants to do, but she has the fact that she is not fighting me, and she has made an agreement. It means that she understands custom and rules.
Well,
So you say.
Yes, so I say. Alton, I'm sorry, I don't know what to do to make you easy in your mind about what I do. But perhaps it will happen one day. Right now I'm tired, and I'd like to go to sleep.
do you need anything before you rest?
No. You can talk to someone anytime that you wish. Just
Here, at least let me bandage your wounds from earlier.
Oh, you're very kind.
And I'd like to go ahead and use my VC healing lotion, which restores 2d6 life or 1 stat point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can also restore the stat point. If that is what you think is more pressing. Brandon,
You're at
what
1
do you think?
HP.
Yes. Oh, I magicked myself down to very little.
All right, so everybody's going to sleep then?
Yes.
Okay, the next day, when you all wake up, I think who do you think would wake up first?
Probably Azure, because she's not really used to sleeping.
Yeah, Alton
Yeah.
wakes up fairly early as well.
Yeah, and I think probably Alton before Azure, because Azure had a calming tea last night.
Right.
So Alton, the weirdest thing, you do know the body, the replacement body that is stored in the caravan normally, and you do know that it's that you have the caravan boarded to provide a body for another NPC, but that body is has this almost no facial features. It's almost like a if somebody would draw a human in a very sketchy way. That's the face. And it stands in the room next to the cold fire where the tea was boiling last night, and it just stands there. And you know that normally it does not do that.
And who's this replacement body for?
Well, it's for the mother of Saffron, who had been the name had been dropped before. Saffron is another PC, and her mother needs a body. That's her goal in life, so to speak.
Greetings, Golem. Are you out
It's
photosynthesizing?
it stares at Kozua, saying nothing.
Yes, I don't trust Causeway either. I'm sure she'll begin asking money for her services before long. Who knows how many other spirits she has hidden inside of her? Because I can do funny voices as well and pretend that they're other people. Hello there, I'm Causeway. I say in a very, it does not at all sound like Causeway.
You have the idea that that the body is slightly smiling, but the idea is completely in your head.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
And I think next is Azure, who is waking up by Altan imitating Kozue's voice.
I mean, they can't really tell. Altan is just saying a weird accent. That's all they're able to tell.
Mm-hmm.
Azure's been woken up by Altan and his capering, and she turns over and she looks at him with like one eye closed, like she hasn't, obviously is just getting up, and she looks at him. She goes, "You're an abject moron," and then she rolls back over and tries to go back to sleep.
Uh-oh. How does Altan take the insult?
I mean, it must be a term of honor. I get called it so often.
Bravo.
All right, so Azure has to pee, so now she gets up and she like heads off to the bushes or wherever we go to the bathroom, and then she comes back and then she says to him, like, "What was the deal with the stupid act yesterday when I was trying to help Kazoo? It's like you're actively trying to sabotage things with your low intellect."
Look, we don't buy into this whole soul flim-flam that you Rainbow Landers like to deal in.
I just read Course's note. Listen, you know, I know I've seen you around here for a while, the caravan since the beginning. You know, it's been, you know, it's fine that you're along for the ride, but now that you're kind of interjecting yourself in things that you clearly don't have any fundamental knowledge of. So, you know, I mean, I could make opinions about demons. You know, they don't exist. You know, it's a bunch of hoo-ha. Yet, you know, I'm sure that you might find that you would be a little bit insulted by that. So I suggest that you keep your opinions to yourself, especially when we're trying to get stuff done around here.
Well, I wouldn't take insult, but I'm certain demons would.
Listen, kid. You're welcome. You're welcome in the crew. Obviously, we're all here trying to get the same. You know, we all have varying goals that we're trying to achieve here, but you need to rein it in. You need to back.
All right, I'll humor your nonsensical beliefs from now on. You have my word.
Is the rest woken up, Naida and Kazui?
I think you noticed me gently slide a pistol back under my pillow.
But there's still there's the replacement body is standing in the room, staring at Kazui, and at that moment, Ostens comes in and it says, "You won't believe it. I've got coffee," and he rushes over to the fireplace and puts the coffee on the in the kettle.
Coffee? I say to anyone.
Kazoi, did you roll to heal yourself yet?
Oh, I should do it. Well, it maxed me out.
2d6.
2d6 maxes me out easily. I don't have that many hit points. Yes. What is coffee?
What is coffee? Says Ostens.
Yeah.
It's the brew of the gods. It's the demon that wakes you up. It's the life force. It's actually even cat coffee, the best.
It's
Cat coffee.
Amber, it's golden amber for pussies.
Azure.
Austin
Oh,
gives you side eye.
oh, I wanted to Ajax. Thank you.
I give Ajax some
And
scritches.
Ajax,
He's a pretty good cat lord.
yeah.
Uh,
Ajax makes the what's it called, the cat thing.
Arches his back.
Arches is back and telepathically says to Nida, I think she's a good guy. She's a good gal. Kazooie is.
For what it's worth, Ajax seems to like you. He didn't even say anything sarcastic about you. That's high praise.
Thank you. If you'll excuse me, I have to I have to go be sick for a moment, but I'll be right back.
So
she excuses herself and returns shortly thereafter.
Mm-hmm. So Austin passes out the coffee in the cups that the room has in store, and he says, "There's 3 boats on the beach, 3 canoes, and I think 2 or 3 people can fit in there easily. Who do we take? Who stays?"
I'll go.
Where this is to the
Ferry Graves.
Ferry Graves.
I'll come.
I can come along and provide some protection.
Austin, do you think we should try to snipe these things from offshore? Or do you think that presents more risk?
I mean, you've seen some of these things are like gigantic. I don't know what is there to snipe.
On the bright side of things, it'd be really hard to miss.
There is.
Who do we keep as a protection for the auto wagons?
Vigo.
Vigo stays.
I mean, I would think.
I can leave my bear.
About that, so when you so there's no bear to be seen. You have met a bear on your journey over the island, but they didn't let it into the village. Like the guards at the entrance just didn't permit it. So it is at the moment at the caravan.
For some reason, they don't trust random bears.
I know. I know, it's perfectly nice to me.
This ursophobia. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's
And it
widespread.
didn't even growl at Austin's. It didn't even growl at what was that kid's name? Swift Knife or Swift Blade?
A swift stab.
Swift Stab.
But neither. So, in short, how did you befriend a bear?
Same way one befriends anything. I sang it a song and gave it some scritches.
And it seemed so. The weirdest thing about this bear is it has a certain animatronic character to it. So you would assume that if you have like an old-fashioned ghost house or something in a fun fair, it's something that would stand outside and move and growl. So it's half. It's definitely half biological. It's biomechanical, but it has this strange jerky motion and kind of fake bear persona.
Is this bear actually capable of speech?
Yes, like simple simple 1-word or 2-word sentences.
Excellent. No sarcasm from it.
No, not.
Well, I
able
don't
to.
know. You can sometimes pack
A lot of
sarcasm into
meaning.
one word.
Yeah, great.
Great. Yes.
Good idea.
It's just my luck. I attract all the sarcastic animals. So, point being, we can leave the bear and have the bear
Yes.
watch the caravan with Vigo. It shouldn't
So
need
the bear, the Vigo. What is with Babeth? The golem, the wicker golem stays, I assume.
Yeah, the wicker golem and didn't we get it? Didn't we get it like a metal golem?
Yeah, the hollowed man,
Yeah.
the hollowed palmed man.
What is this body?
So we can fit 9 into the canoes, correct?
Yes.
All right, so there's the 4 of us as party members. There's Austin's, Babeth. So that's 6.
And yeah, I mean, you could ask the you could at least ask one villager to guide you there.
Right. I'm thinking we want to leave Umberto behind on this one.
Mm-hmm.
Naida, I'm sorry to interject, but what is this body that is looking at me?
Yeah, actually, I was kind of wondering why it isn't in. It's usually in the truck, and it doesn't really move. So, it being here is odd.
It might perhaps be so, but
Azure, what do you think? How mad would Saffron be if we used this body for the Ultra?
How many bodies have we found so far? We found like 2 already, right?
Well, there's the prairie dog body that was constructed for Saffron, and
Right.
there's this one.
And
And
then we found.
that's it.
Well, no, we just found a place to dump J7. We didn't. We found an autofact to dump J7. We didn't actually find a body to stash him in, right?
Right, and well, we couldn't have. I mean, J7 needed to go into an autofac anyway.
Right,
I mean,
right.
What are we going to put him in? What else?
So we found 2 bodies so far, right?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like, I mean, it's not like you can go to the local the local convenience shop and pick one up, but they don't seem that hard to come by. I mean, how long have we been doing this? And we've got 2.
We've been doing this for quite a while, actually.
We still found 2 though.
I mean, you're not wrong. I'm debating which is the better answer. Like saving this body for Saffron's mother and trying to convince one of the villagers on the beach to help us and let one of them be possessed, or I mean, they do kind of owe us a little bit. We stopped them from being attacked by those water things that were attacking.
Well, to be like, Demon's advocate here, though, these guys are plebes. We're basically asking them to become quote unquote possessed by the devil, which is probably pretty spooky to them. I mean, would we do this to a cat?
they're giving up their lives, essentially.
Right. I mean, would we do this to some dumb animal that we all find adorable and love, like a dog or a cat or even like a cyber gerbil or whatever?
I mean,
because wait, let's the 20 or so words that she has no understanding of just go right on by. I mean, so far.
you're not wrong, Azure. You're not wrong.
I mean, it's like we've got this vassal, you know, and as much as these people are kind of plebes, you know, I don't really know if I feel okay with being like, hey, what's that over there? And then juking them for their body. You know, telling them some sort of story and then tricking, like essentially tricking them into agreeing to this and then getting a mind wipe, you know, or something.
Even if we told them the truth.
Well, who's going to be like, hey, that sounds fantastic. Let me fucking get possessed by this fucking thing and, you know, never see my family again. I mean, if you think about it, these people are not, they're operating on a different scale, you know, like they're agrarians or something, you know, they're what is it, slash and burn,
Hunting and gathering. And
you know?
Well, when you met them, they were eating ash. So they are peculiar. Let's put it that way.
Oh, these are those.
I'm not going to. Yeah,
that
they yes, on the beach. I'm not going to you know, sway you one way or the other. I'm just trying to remind you that it's like Saffron's life goal. Life goal is the reason why it's what bringing down the apocalypse to the world for Azure is finding a body for mother for Saffron.
Oh, right. All right.
Not trying to sway it in any way, just as a reminder.
You know, honestly, I forgot it was those weird ash eaters. So, but you know, I don't know. I mean, Saffron has held it down for. On the other point, Saffron has held it down for us time and time again.
Mm-hmm.
You know, has come through in pretty much every instance we've asked him to.
And I remember how guilty you felt when Saffron died.
Yeah, yeah.
And like the kite, like carrying the kite around for just weeks after weeks after weeks.
I still kind of miss it.
Well, it's still around.
I know,
just
but
Saffron's got it back now.
Right, yes.
And which would you rather have, the kite bugging you or Saffron?
Yeah, all right. Okay, well, you know, like those ash eaters are I guess they're a little odd. They probably, maybe, I still kind of feel like it's like maybe like a half step from an animal, you know, so I feel a little guilt there. But in the grand scheme of things, it's probably better to get one of them to pony up and then we, you know, keep it moving and hold this for Saffron.
I mean, it's still an asshole move. Whoever they are.
This isn't my decision, of course, because these are people and entities that you have dealt with and not I. But is there some information I can give you?
I'm kind of curious why this body is here. How did it get here?
You mean, how did it get here out of the truck, or why did you have it in the first place?
How did it get here from the truck?
It's a body, it can walk, something animated it.
But what? Nothing has animated it before now.
So
it only acts on instinct. If you put like a bowl of food in front of it, it would eat.
It'll eat, yes. Oh, it's acting on instinct. It is drawn towards a spirit that doesn't have a body and craves one. It can feel it. I feel it all the time. I mean, of course, but Sopa is in me. But this spirit is, I mean, this body is evidently sufficiently aware. And as I told you, Sopa is no ordinary spirit. She shines with extraordinary brightness. And anything that is the least susceptible to spiritual energies is going to be affected.
Can Soba share a body?
Well, she's sharing mine right now. But do you mean can there be equal? Can two people share as they might share a bowl?
Yes, we had.
It's very hard. I can have Soba as a guest in my body because I have training to do that with spirits. But normally a spirit, especially a powerful one like Soba, takes over. It's almost impossible for them to stop doing that. Possession is ordinarily two spirits fighting for control of a body, and one of them wins, and the other is smashed into the background and sometimes destroyed or maimed in the process. And it's not generally a process that's very controllable. I mean, you saw how I had to protect myself, and I'm continually aware that she's in there and she wants a body, and that she would take mine if things were different. She would just take it, and she came close to doing that last night. So no, I'm afraid. Spirits want to live. They just do. And it is an instinctual need, not something that can be picked up and put down.
I see. This is...
It's a difficult decision, but it's not one you necessarily have to make this moment.
That's true.
I mean, I have to devote a fraction of my attention to dealing with Soba all the time. And it's distracting, but I can maintain that for some period of time, certainly.
I'm just thinking that it would be helpful to have another body in whatever we're going to face in the near future.
If Soba is your ally and is willing to help you, she's powerful or strong or something ancient. I can't
Is she
tell.
willing to help us?
I am
You
sure
said that
she
you
would.
get
I'm sure
feelings of
she.
benevolence.
Yes. Well, she's willing to follow the rules, which meant that you could make a bargain with her at least. Embodiment in exchange for assistance for a period of time, if nothing more. She might desire to ask for your assistance in return. You know how it is.
Of course.
I don't know what she can do.
She's as powerful as you say. I'm sure she can do a lot. It just depends on the body she gets.
Yes.
Horse, do you think we could take 5, maybe 10 minutes here? Since Abe's on a break.
Let's say 45.
Okay, that works.
Awesome. Stephen, are you running anything for GauntletCon?
No, I'm always I have just too many things I'm already part of to even think of doing other stuff for GauntletCon.
Okay, but will you play?
I haven't. I honestly, I've just been too embroiled in everything going on to I've forgotten about that it was coming up.
I think it's like 1st of October or 3rd October it starts. Is that true? I think so. Yeah, 1st, 2nd October, I think. Yeah, I'm always too selfish, and there's so many good things that other people run that I want to actually play.
Oh, okay. Is that?
You were talking about GauntletCon,
Yeah,
which is like the 15th, 16th, 17th.
I thought it was on the 2nd of October.
Well, I'm not.
Oh, am I completely off? That could also be.
I'm often misinformed.
Yeah, I do remember that I planned sessions of Ultraviolet Grasslands around GauntletCon. So we're taking a break. At least that was my impression. Maybe that's wrong. Let's see. Community discussion. On the announcements, probably.
It might be that October the 1st and such is when you can RSVP.
Try. Yeah, it is no, it is actually October 15th. You're right.
Back.
Yes. All right. Uh-oh. Need to reschedule maybe. Well, we see. Let's see. Okie doke. Everybody's back, I think.
Are you talking about the GauntletCon session of UVG?
Yeah. Yes. I thought I was like super smart, and I put the break on the 3rd. But now I just realized it's 2 weeks later.
I mean, for what it's worth, it does fit into the GauntletCon slots.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk about it with Chris and Will. I have 4 sessions anyways in October. Maybe we just take a break. I don't want to, if it's the online, what is it called, GCorg. I would say that.
Yeah.
But for GauntletCon, I think it would be a gesture of respect to not run anything on the date.
Like Lowell was saying, it's kind of GauntletCon is this year more like an expanded GCOG.
What is GCOG?
Gauntlet Community Open Gaming.
Oh.
We run a bunch of games for people who are not necessarily Gauntlet community members. Introduce people to online gaming. So what I'm seeing so far is there's like, let's see, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24. There's 26 sessions scheduled for it. And there's only 2 sessions currently scheduled for
On the slot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I mean, I think we can have the discussion with the other 3 players.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, still morning. You're still in your bunker. The body is still standing there. I think did Kazua leave for like a minute or something to walk outside?
I have to go relieve myself and also to throw up the mushrooms.
So I think that
they don't stay down.
And the body followed you, like not in a certain like it when you left, its gaze followed you, and then it actually physically moved outside, but slowly and hesitantly. And when you returned, it just returns with you.
I raise an eyebrow at night. If you clearly, if you choose not to utilize this body at this time, you're going to have to secure it.
We've never had a problem like this to deal with. What do you think, Azure? Abe, you're muted.
Who are these people, the ash eaters that you mentioned? They sound very...
They were a tribe on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
And I was introduced to them when I saw entities coming out of the water. And they started to attack the villagers, these tribes members, and I readied my rifle and I scared them off. We hadn't been here before. I didn't know who was who or what was what, so I didn't want to harm anyone. I saw something happening that seemed like it should not be happening, and I took action to stop it. So they were grateful, but it's not for me to judge the conditions in which other people live or how they live. I have traveled many places. I have seen many things. I'm a refugee. My continued existence depended on the good graces of people who extended a hand when I needed one.
Yes.
So I will not judge their circumstances, how they live, what they eat. For all I know, it could be a more noble way of living than the one that I live.
Otherwise, they seemed like people such as you might meet anywhere, whatever their culture.
With their differences, yes, but yes.
Yeah, they were definitely different. Like, you got the expression that they are not entirely you.
Well, the differences between you and I are probably larger than the differences between you and these people.
If you'd like, we can go pay them a visit.
No, that's not necessary. I'm just trying to understand. And to make sure that not to make sure, I can't do that. if one of them is going to give up their existence. And you felt that that was a sincere offer made with understanding of what it meant. That's all I'm seeking to understand in order to add some morsel of clarity to your decision, if it does that. Indeed.
Ajax, is there any way that you could facilitate communication between us and the tribe's members so that I can actually think things and have them understand it better?
Well, it's not a step down from talking to deer. You had me talking to deer. You had me talking to what was the last thing? Like trees. What was it? Stones.
Well, we had you talking to the deer to the gazelle with the gemstone eyes. Yes.
Mm-hmm. They were stupid. I can tell you that.
Yeah, you have not let us forget that. But no, these are at least humanoids, and they can at least communicate in some way.
Well, I can only assume that I will be rewarded with fish, right? I mean, we're in the middle of a fucking lake.
If you want to eat fish out of this lake, we can probably find you some fish in this lake. But I have to say, it's better than that oil lake that you wanted to eat fish from.
Well, so let's go then. Or do I have to go on my own?
Do you honestly think that I would ask you to go on your own?
I don't know anymore what to think. It's all gotten downhill since we left Violet City.
You know that it is far more likely that I will leave you behind when I'm going off to do something dangerous than it is that I will send you out to go do something dangerous.
Ajax sighs deeply. I want, as the referee, I would like you to point out on the roll for your party. There are 3 clocks, and I'm like ticking the Redlander caravan if time is passing that is not spent on rescuing Henk van Staal, if indeed he still lives.
Okay.
So you're checking out the Ash Eater half nomad clan, half human nomad clan. Okay. And I think you, I mean, you know where it is. Is everyone joining Nida and Ajax?
Yes.
Altan as well? And Azure?
Sure.
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so you walk along the beach. You leave the Iron Pike, and the first minute when you step outside, it's always like this nauseating feeling because you spent considerable time in a globe where the stuck force, as it is called, the gravity is distributed along the side of the globe. And when you step outside, now the gravity pulls you down towards the ground again. You walk over this fine sand, and you do find the camp that the clan has left behind, but they are not there at the moment. So what do you do?
Do I see tracks heading off in any direction?
Mm-hmm. You do. You see you see the tracks from the water coming to the beach. You find your own tracks, and then you find a third track that leads deeper into the hills.
Oh, God damn it. We don't have time for this. We don't have time to go running around after these villagers.
Very well.
Um,
So then, what will it be?
Azure,
What's up?
what do you think? Do we give Soba this body or not?
Well, we don't really have. I mean, we're running out of time, right? It's like it's do or die, literally. So, I mean, I'm not one to, dictate how Saffron's life should go. Saffron's always been solid, but I mean, is the Soba worth saving?
Kozue says so.
Right, but I mean, not for nothing. This entire trip, we've been picking up strays all along the way. Like pretty much every opportunity when there's been a stray to rescue, we've been there.
I'm a stray.
What's that?
I'm a stray. You're a stray.
Yeah, but
We're,
what about that? I mean, at a certain point, I mean, are we going to save everyone in the fucking in the grasslands? I mean,
that is actually kind of what I do, or at least as many people as I can.
yeah, but at a certain point, you have to like cut, like you got to cut your losses at some point. I don't want to scuttle, I don't want to screw Saffron over, our good intentions for J7 are what fucking killed Saffron in the first place. So, I mean, what if we save this Soba and it's all of a sudden it's another Johnny 7 and then you get nuked and we have to find a body for you, or I get nuked and you have to find a body for me.
I look at the tracks. Can I tell how long those the ash eaters have been moving?
I think that is well within your. Let's make a roll. I mean, you're good at that, so I definitely give you the advantage on the wisdom roll.
All right.
You can follow the track without any problems, but finding out how cold the track is something extra.
So that's 2d20 under wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
Double 17s.
That doesn't sound good unless your wisdom is 17. So
no, my wisdom is not.
So you met them pretty much a day ago, so the tracks can't be older than that.
Azure, do you want to follow them?
Well, what's the other option?
The other option is we secure the body and we go rescue that Redlander caravan. Come back to this when we can.
I'm going to let you make the call on this one, Nida. I don't. As you know, I didn't even want to come here to save all these kooks. But I mean, again, I'm running with the party. We've been friends a while. I got your back. So you make the call. I'll do whatever you say.
Let's secure the body. Go rescue Hank von Staffel.
all right.
Okay, so you return to the village. How do you restrain the body?
I'm going to put it in one of the trucks and literally lash it into place.
Mm-hmm. So let's see.
And then tell Vigo to keep an eye out specifically on the body.
Yeah. Umberto is standing next to you and and Vigo and says, he's keeping an eye on the body, pointing out the obvious. And then the next, do you try to persuade a villager to join you, or do you just embark on this journey?
I figure we can put a call up for brave souls.
So actually, Swiftstep, who led you to the coast, is the one who's raising his hand and says, "I go."
Anyone else? There's pay in it.
There's a lot of people looking at their shoes. Over the lake to the Ferry Graves? No way. And another voice says, "What's the pay?"
I look at my coin purse.
Which is pretty well filled.
Going rate is 30 a day. It's what is it, 30 a week? Is that the going rate, 30 a week for combat?
That is a very good pay. 2 others step forward.
All right. We've got our crew.
So they man the boats. The 3 villagers take up the roles. And let's see. On the water itself. So you disembark from the shores like deep into the morning, because you went to the villagers to the nomads, but still it is dark. So I don't know if I've explained it to Kuzui in Altan, but as you know, the whole morning until noon, the land is covered in this weird purple glow that blocks out the sun. And because of the near moon on the lake, the water is pretty rough, attracted by the strange forces of the moon. And when this purple glow lifts at noon, you can already see the other side, like the other coastline. And I make a random roll for an encounter. 6. Let's see. A 3. Crossing the... Okay. Nothing happens. But you can see from afar, like to the south, you can see fisher boats from Red Bear throwing out their nets. And then on the journey itself, Altan, you can sense for the first time in quite a while the presence of a demon. It's not on the...
Demons are looking about. I say out loud.
And who's with Altan in the boat?
I'll be with Altan.
Oh, I thought it was going to be Azure, and Azure would just be like, "Oh, well, I don't believe in demons."
Azure could be in the boat as well.
Where? Can you tell?
Can I?
Yes, you know that.
Could this be a roll with something? Or
No, you can tell that it's on the shore, like to the west. It's not on the water.
over on the shore to the west. I think we should take a look at that place.
And I think that the other boats are close enough that you can communicate from boat to boat.
Altan says that there is a demon on the shore to the west, which might be a threat, and that we should see what it is, at least.
You mean in addition to those gigantic gelatinous masses?
Well, they don't seem to move very fast, if at all.
Demons tend to move much faster than that.
Thanks. I thought they moved slowly.
You're welcome, Nida.
Kozue gazes with fervent interest at the water. Trying not to add to this conversation.
So
I
I think
look through my scope and see if I can see anything moving on
yes.
the shore.
So now
kind
you're much. Go on.
I was just going to kind of gesture to Austin so that he could start scanning as well.
Mm-hmm. So from where you are now, you have a obviously you have a lower vantage point, but also you're much closer to the shore. You estimate that maybe another hour of rowing will get you there.
Mm-hmm.
And I make another d6 to see what you. 3. Yeah, you definitely see these gelatinous cubes, and they seem to slowly pulsate. You don't see anything that resembles a demon. If you want to get some kind of extra information, you would have to roll on your wisdom.
Yeah, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And since I'm using my scope for my rifle, does that can I get to roll with advantage since that's
Yes.
okay? And then what am I rolling under? Wisdom?
I think wisdom makes the most sense.
Okay. 2d20. 9 under 10.
Nice. That's a very high. Let's see. So I think you see for the first time a structure somewhere deeper into this swamplands, and it seems to be. It looks really weird. It looks like a wheel. It looks I don't know, like a ferry wheel or something. But still no demon.
Can I oracle when I have a moment?
Yes, you can use your oracle. Obviously, it is a bit different on the water, on the canoe that is moving from one side to the other. But once you're in your meditation, I guess you're in your own mind. What do you want to the augury about?
I want to do the augury about seeing what lies ahead, like any potential conflicts or fights that we have ahead of us.
Mm-hmm. You see 4 or 5 different swamp animals. Maybe there's a rhinoceros, some kind of big, I don't know, varan, is that English? It's like some kind of big lizard. And they're all moving, they're all burning, and they're moving in this ridiculous speed. And they seem to... Huh?
Like super fast, super slow?
Yes, very, very fast. And they seem to be like in your mind's eye. You can smell the burnt fur, and you can sense that they are ridden by something. They're ridden by probably what Altan calls a demon.
So is it like there are 4 demons riding 4 animals? Is it
No,
one demon riding multiple animals?
Yeah, it seems to be like one demon riding multiple animals from different species.
Okay. All right. So I'll come out of my trance and I say, you see, Alton, I don't disbelieve people just because they say something I don't feel comfortable with. I've seen the demon you speak of.
That's becoming a very special episode.
The demon that you speak of, apparently, it sets animals alight and it rides them into battle. And I've seen a few different instances of it burning these animals and taking them into battle against us.
And are we still far from the coast?
No, you're like maybe 15 minutes from coast.
Meters, you said?
Minutes, sorry, 15 minutes.
Oh, minutes. Okay.
So unless you prepare,
so not close enough that I can just jump off the boat and run at them with a charge. Okay.
Well, you can grab a paddle and just be the first boat that arrives at the shore.
I mean, yeah. I mean, Alton's going to say, well, they're sitting upon the ferry, and it's time to go to battle with these demons.
So we see that Elton's and Kozue's boat is definitely moving ahead and reaching the shores first. So the problem is that the shore is not even really super clear where the lake ends and the land begins. Everything is underwater. There's like reed and slime covering what I call the shore. So when you jump out, at some point the boat just can't go further. But when you jump out, you immediately sunk in to your shins. And so, Altan, what is you are a demon hunter by profession. I don't know how successful in the past, but I mean, you have to have some kind of training to actually find them.
I think it's we let the it's a kind of battle trance. We let the demon essence in our bloodline kind of, what's the word, attune with the demons in the world to sense them.
Mm-hmm.
It's a kind of quickening of the blood that we feel when we're around a demon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can also feel the teeth of your fetish start to what's the sound? Chatter? Like
yeah.
And you can definitely theoretically you feel the presence of the demon, but it's deeper inside, deeper in your on land. Do you head in full battle mode? Are you cautious? Do you wait for your comrades to catch up?
I think I'm at least a bit cautious. I'm gonna wait until I at least have some cover fire from my other people on the boat.
Mm-hmm. And when the others arrive, you can also see. So I imagine it's a little bit like in Louisiana or something, with trees growing out of the water. As I said, there's this reed coastline. Everything seems to be covered in slimes and molds. And you can see, like, roughly 100 meters before you, one of these gigantic cubes of this gelatinous substance. So you all move deeper into the deeper on land.
I mean, I'm going on to land, but what are other folks doing?
I'm right behind you.
Mhm.
Just
Austin,
bring out my robe and look for trouble.
Mhm.
Agreed. I follow. Shotgun at the ready.
And is anyone like, so this is a very swampy, dangerous landscape that everybody warned you not to go. The worst place to go, don't go there. The crocodiles, the snakes, there's mosquitoes, there's this gigantic cubes. Any other kind of precaution you take?
Would I hate to ask, but would I get like a bump on initiative or dexterity if I take some speed?
You do get like, I think you're still on. You have 2 attacks per round.
Oh, okay. All right, cool.
Other than I have a staff at ready, and
Mhm.
I check the position of the clay flask that I have my hip to make sure that it's still there.
Mhm.
And
And do you use the staff to look for, sinkholes and so forth?
I do. It's one of the. I'm more adept at doing that than I am at fighting with it. Well, I can fight with it, and in fact, it has a. Anyone who looked at it closely would see that it has. It actually has a portion on the top, almost like a little sheath on the top that can be pulled off.
Mm-hmm.
Because in fact it's a spear, but it has to be very very much in the Japanese tradition. But mostly it's a very strong staff. So I'm probing around, poking anything I don't desire to fall in a sinkhole or to get poisoned by a scorpion that I didn't notice.
So you do reach the first of these cuboids of this. It is not one of the like super gigantic ones, but it's still like 20 meters in size. You can also see like I assume that you have some respectful distance to it. It does move. You can see sometimes are these pseudopods that reach out and moves its center of mass in a certain direction. It is translucent in this, or semi-transparent in the sense that you can see what it's inside, and it seems to have some kind of complex ecology that includes these molds that grow within it. Let's see, what do you find as well? There seems to be a half-destroyed auto wagon inside. An auto wagon in UVG terms is some kind of autonomous vehicle. It could be like a cart that has no horses. It could be like a truck or a car or something. So what do you do?
Fascinating.
Based on what we know, is there any way to repair that auto wagon?
Well, the one that you see inside looks pretty destroyed. I mean, it is possible that there's something inside that still works, but you could use it for maybe spare parts, but not probably repaired.
Yes.
How do you guys think a bone grenade would one of those things would react to a bone grenade?
Your own answer is probably better than mine. I just know is that is the kind of thing that might have a battery. which is something that I would like to get hold of.
From where you are, you can see at least 3 other of these gelatinous cubes, and 2 of them are bigger in size.
I say we fucking grenade the fuck out of them. I mean, you know, at least if they're in 1,000 parts, they'll be easier to, you know, to get away from, or you know, or at least to pick out if we want to cherry pick everything.
They might also move faster and be harder to get away from
They might
because
be-
they have less mass to follow to drag around.
True, true.
if indeed they're injured at all.
Austin, have you ever fought anything like these beings before?
No.
Beth?
Can we fight them? The Beth is playing with her muscles and says, "Not all." I fancy one of them, the smaller one maybe.
So we don't know how to destroy these things.
Austin's also looks inside. I don't think Hank is inside inside this one, unless he's inside of the crashed auto wagon.
Yes. Well, we should. That is the primary thing
These
we're
look
here
like the
for.
auto
Yes.
wagons from the caravan, though.
Yeah, it could be. It could be one of.
So that's a clue that he might not be far from here.
Okay, so what do you do?
Causeway, I think we can. Let's check it. Let's check in. Let's go further in and see if we can find anything, and if we can grab this on the way back. Does that make sense to you?
Of course, we're not. I mean, the trapped lord is will not survive forever in this landscape.
Okay, so I roll the next one. So let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's in the front? I think Altan. Is that reasonable to assume?
Yeah, yeah.
And you're pretty much focused on the. I mean, you're cautious enough, but you're focused on trying to find the demon. There is an electric snake, electric snake. I say there is a snake moving before you, like moving towards you, and it discharges like every couple of seconds while it moves quickly towards you. What do you do?
Well, I think I do a spin and try to whip out my whip and try to slap the snake along. Well, my whip and shield, I should say. Whip in one hand, shield in the other, and try to whack the snake along the side of its head.
Right. So welcome to
The spin is clearly.
So it's just a snake slapping spin.
Yes.
Okay. Would you mind rolling a d6 to see who's first, the snake or you? And with you, it's the whole group.
Where did I put my die roller? I had it out here.
I can.
Here we go. It's centrally and turn left, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Let's see here. That's a 5.
That looks really good. I roll as well. We act at the same time. Awesome. So, yeah, make your roll. So you roll a d20, your AV, under your AV.
Okay.
And the snake does the same thing.
Okay, I got an 11, which I believe is under my
Yes.
attack value.
Yeah, equal or under. Equal is even better.
Yeah. I rolled 1 off from my attack value, so.
So I roll so you definitely hit,
Yeah.
and you can deal your damage.
Okay, and my whip, I should note here, Oh, I should have made a note of that. First off, I deal 1d8 damage. But let me go over to gear because I forgot to copy over that extra bit. Oh, only stuns on a crit. Okay.
Yeah. That's interesting because the neural whip, I assume that there's some kind of electricity as well discharged, isn't it?
Really quick,
Yes?
Stephen has something on his character sheet about getting +1 initiative.
He does.
Oh, wow. So
Oh,
you
do I?
actually, yeah.
Down under the shield.
It's that suspiciousness.
Oh, yes. Why? Yes, I marked it down there because I get +1 initiative because of my high dex or strength. I
So
believe
you
for
do actually
character.
act first. You do
Okay.
act first. The snake doesn't strike unless you not kill it.
Okay, let me see here.
So kill it.
That's only a 3. That does 3.
Yeah, but that actually kills the snake. So describe, what would you do? It's like a cycle kick or something, and then
Yeah,
you whip
like
it.
I do like a spin and I whip it, and I think probably I just like the whip just wraps around its neck, and I just give a flick and break its neck.
Mm-hmm. And it almost happens too quickly for the others to even react. Maybe Azure in her hyper state would have been able to react first, but yeah, before you realize that there was a danger, there's like this dead electric snake swimming on the surface. And you see that before you is a big gelatinous cube, and inside is what looks like it's called an autovec, which is spelled VECH. And that is an abbreviation for vehicle. And these auto vecs, they are walkers. So what gives away that it is a so-called Redland diesel walker? So walkers, just as in, I don't know, Star Wars or something.
Redlanders and their damn walkers.
You know, from the
We've already
Redland.
got legs. You don't need to make mechanical ones.
Mhm. And you do know that the caravan was a Redlander caravan, so that could be, by chance, or it could be actually an indication. That walker looks damaged, but to get back to Nida's question, it is not terribly damaged. It could probably be repaired if you could get your hands on it. But you also don't see anyone alive unless they hide in the walker. And the last thing I say, and then I shut up, it also looks as if the bigger gelatinous cubes have some kind of air bubbles inside of them, where the molds produced enough gas to push the gelatinous substance away.
Mm-hmm. Wait, what's produced enough gas?
Yeah, it seems that there is this interesting complex ecology of molds and lichen and slimes, and they seem to feed on some stuff of these gelatinous cubes that pushes it away and creates some kind of air bubbles.
Okay. Well, and how close am I to the rest of the group now?
Yeah, you're all very close.
Yeah. Should I be carving into this? There's a walker in here. Should I be carving into this big Cuba goo?
Does it look like the walker could actually be preserving any kind of life?
I mean, if there's like oxygen in the walker itself, it would have been spent. It would be spent within a relatively short amount of time. And in the air bubbles that you can see, there's nobody moving, or no bodies or anything.
Maybe on the way back.
Yes.
All right.
We're looking for actual living people.
Okay, and demons indeed. So you move further, and you're still like, movement is really slow in the swamp. You can still see behind you the waters. The next gelatinous cube is relatively small, and what you can see is like a so-called biovec. And these are, in this case, it's like a four-legged biomechanical beast that is headless but has a saddle. And it also seems to be alive, trapped in. So it's moving, like prancing a little bit on its hooves and moving like erratically within an air bubble.
Is that a living creature or a machine or both?
I mean, it looks like both. How small is this cube in relation to us?
It is about, let's say, I don't know, 15 meters across. And then maybe 2.5 meters, 3 meters high.
If we attack this, is it likely that we're going to get other cubes attacking us?
There's no so the cubes itself, they seem to keep a certain distance from each other. So even if and none of them seem to move quickly enough to get to you. But I mean, you don't really know.
Might not react at all. Might react viciously.
No loyalty among cubes.
We don't even know how to kill these things.
Well,
You
I
know-
mean, that's what the everybody has to kill something for the first time. Have to be killed for the first time. That's how you perfect the fine art of murdering things.
Mm-hmm.
Alton, what do you want to do? Do you want to free this beast, or do you want to move on?
Well, I'm personally out here. This doesn't feel like the demon, does it?
I don't think the beast is the demon, but it might be able to help us.
I mean, I'm all for helping if you are, but I'm looking for a demon out here.
Yeah,
Goes
again,
away?
do we need to save every fucking thing that we see?
I'm just thinking it could help us haul loot out or haul people out if they're injured.
I mean, you have seen obviously these kind of burden beasts before. The spectrum, what's it called? Satraps. They use them, and they can carry a decent amount of load, more than a pony. And they're like the beast is maybe 5 meters away from the membrane, from the wall. So you would, even if you enter, you would have to get to it and then get it out. Unless you try to blow it all up, I don't know.
Well, if we do that, then we're going to risk a chance of blowing up the beast. I mean, it seems to me like a losing situation.
Even if the thing doesn't react, you're having to carve out cubic meters of heavy substance. I don't even know what to call that.
Gloop.
So you move on? Is that what I'm hearing?
It sounds like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next, let's make a random roll if something's happening. Oops, something is happening. Altan, you hear the teeth of the fetish chattering constantly. And what is the warning that it would like? How do your body react if a demon is near? You said something about your blood boiling.
Yeah, my blood quickens, my pulse races.
And Azure, what you saw in your mind's eye is now actually happening in real time. There's all of a sudden this horrible stench, this smell, and it's almost like in a dream, like through this swampy landscape. There is a herd of animals from all kinds rushing, not really towards you, but perpendicular to you through the swamp. And they're burning. And Altan, you see that there's some kind of fire demon or fire wind demon riding with them. How do you win their heart, if at all?
Oh, let's see. So who are they riding with?
So what you see is, first of all, let's say there's two. Everybody names a swamp animal. Puckett, let's start.
Oh, let's go with the boar.
A boar. There's a burning boar. Brandon?
A python.
There's a burning python, probably a really big one, like slithering while burning. Ape?
What are my options? The board.
Swamp creature.
Swamp animals, swamp creatures.
Oh, so I get to make one up?
Yes.
I will say, I don't know what lives in the swamp. I guess a crocodile or an alligator, something like that.
And Stephen, another one, like a big one, please.
Because I was gonna say a possum, but okay.
Man.
Let's say it's four possums, 4 burning possums.
I mean, it can be a die or a possum. It can be a die or a possum.
Of course it
I was
can.
gonna say a boar isn't big enough.
Boar is big enough. I was very happy about the boar.
I don't know. Crocodiles are pretty giant.
Yep.
They are, and they can move quickly. And all of
And
them.
I'm gonna die or a possum. Just think of how loud its screech is gonna be.
The whole scenery is actually eerily quiet. So you don't hear pain. It doesn't. It doesn't seem as if the fire is consuming anything. Although you smell the burnt flesh.
But they don't seem to be in pain.
They don't seem to be in pain.
Yep, I guess I'm gonna stride into view and say, "Nice fire trick you have there. Fancy a grapple." Like Altada is not subtle.
I love it.
Look, Altad, you defeat your foes in a grapple, and they fall in love with you. That's how the epics work.
Some of them.
I thought there's some murder. There's probably some murdering involved. I bet.
So let's see.
You know, inevitably one of you betrays the other, and you have to engage in like a bloody quest of vengeance. That's how love works.
I think you're trying to grab their attention.
Yeah.
It's not fully there yet. So how do you make your presence known other than shouting?
Oh, I think I do another of my like signature spin cracks with my whip. Yep. It's coming off way more kinky than I initially premised, but yeah.
Well,
Well, it could
maybe
be
the demon
Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
is into the kink. You can only hope.
yeah, yeah.
I think that the whole scene seems to almost freeze. The animals freeze in motion, still burning, and I think for the first there's this howling fire, almost like a tornado or something that is whipping up over them, and there's a deep, I want to say not unsexy voice saying, "What do you want, small one? Do you want to be consumed?"
I shoot him or it or whatever their pronouns are.
Pretty much him. The voice
Okay.
gives it away.
Cool. A cocky grin and say, it depends what kind of consuming you'll be doing.
I do the fiery one, the flamey one, the hot one.
Well, I can certainly give you that.
Is that already flirting, or because
I've been flirting this entire time. Thank you very much.
Too subtle. Are you ready? So the demon says, "I will burn you to ash," and then it flares up from you, and then there's this fiery tongs licking out. Already very sensual, in order to burn you.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna just to play along with that to keep the heat off of me. I have to rip off my shirt. Light on fire, clearly.
I forgot my bit.
Yes, you have to make a bit.
It's getting hot in here. Yeah. So my first bit was 5 actually.
Okay, I'll bid 7.
Nice. So you can see that the demon is hesitating for a moment and making itself bigger, like rising up, flaming up, and you can feel the heat of its fiery tornado. And it actually tries to engulf you. It tries to move you inside of its whirlwind of fire. And and it raises, let's say, 8.
Yeah, I think I leap through the wall of flame, and I think I kind of land with my feet against the demon's chest, leaving us to tumble down to the ground together.
Mm-hmm. What do you raise?
10.
I want to see. So the the demon, you both tumble to the ground, and the fire is actually at the moment not burning you, but although it's really hot.
Okay. So I make the roll now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's see here. I only rolled a 3.
All right. So the others can now act. But what first will happen is, so you tumble to the ground. The demon has you in his grip, so to speak. It has completely surrounded you, and whatever sexy move you tried is not working on the demon.
Can't win every demon's heart.
You can't. So the direct consequence is that it burns your chest, your naked chest.
Yep.
And it burns you with Holy crap. I'm not sure if you will survive this.
Okay.
It burns you with a 7.
Let's see here. That brings me to 0.
Ooh, that is a special case. Exactly 0 is something weird. Let's see. But while you can all act now because you had time to watch the dance of the fiery dance, and you can act when you see that Altan is unconscious. If an attack reduces her HP to 0, she's knocked out until she has positive HP again. If an attack gives her negative HP, she's knocked out and must save or die. That is not the case. Oh wow! Characters have a special option once per battle. It could be now if you want to. When an attack would damage them, they have the option to save. Which is in your case probably relatively unlikely. But when you would save to reduce damage or to avoid death, you can make a Constitution task roll instead. So you can roll under your Constitution if that is better than rolling under a saving throw. But that is once per battle.
Okay. I mean, considering I'm gonna take 7 damage otherwise, it feels like a so like in this case I'd have to roll beneath 16, and what would happen then?
If this let's see. A successful save reduces the damage by D6 points, representing an adrenaline rush that enables the characters to shrug off some damage. If the save fails, however, the character takes full damage from the attack.
Okay. Yeah, so I just roll a d20 then?
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I'm fighting a demon. My Wildlands Beyonder applies here.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see. Let's roll the first.
Well, saving throws.
Oh, okay, I can't roll for for the Constitution task.
I don't think so.
Okay.
As much as I understand the reasoning behind it.
Yeah, no problem. And that's a 4.
That is, and now you roll a d6, and that is how much you reduce the damage.
3. So I now have 3 HP.
Nice. And we are at the beginning of the round. I think neither Kozue and Azure can act now before we roll initiative.
Is that demon like? Is it shotgunnable?
Everything's shotgunnable if you try hard enough, Azure.
The only way to find out is to point a shotgun at it.
Yeah, I want to say because you are a witch, I think if you can kill the physical presence that the demon is riding on, which is shotgunnable, you can like cast it away.
Excellent. Then I will shotgun the beast that the demon is riding.
The beasts.
Where is Altan in relation to the demon right now?
I think on the top of it, aren't I?
Yeah, under it, tangling with it.
Okay, under it.
Running. Okay, so let's. Okay, I have it. Let's do this. So Azure is shooting. Azure X first, high on golden amber, and you're not shooting at the demon. You're shooting at the beasts.
Right. So what die do I roll?
You roll a d20 under your attack value.
All right. I rolled the 4, which I'm assuming is under my attack value.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. My attack value is 11.
Yeah, you have to roll under the attack value and over the AC of the creatures, but the AC of the creatures is 2. So
so I got it.
Yes, you got it.
Okay, so I shoot something.
Uh-huh. And what does the shotgun do? 2d6 or something?
1 second. Yes, I believe that is correct. Yeah, 2d6 plus 2 at close range.
Wow. Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. 2d6. It's just 2d6. That was the sort of black steel that I had the plus 2 for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, 2d6.
Make your roll.
Yep. 11.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, you shoot an opossum or something.
Do these have do all these creatures have like an aggregate hit point pool?
Yes, it's like one blob of.
Okay.
Okay, Nida, what do you do?
So we are not targeting the demon directly. We're targeting the mob of beasts they were riding in on.
That is what Azure did, because Azure, and you can say, I do what the witch does, because she has knowledge. You would assume that the demon itself is the actual enemy, and you don't know why Azure shoots the poor animals.
Well, because she has a shotgun.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a shotgun, you fire the shotgun. It's a rule.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I want to use my sniper rifle special on the demon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm assuming that this is one of those cases where I can't just kill it outright.
Mm-hmm. Because it is an insubstantial demon that like its body flickers in and out of existence, so to speak. But I think with your special ability, you have a chance to hit it.
I see. So it's flickering in and out of. You know, I'm kind of feeling that the best thing to do is do what the witch does. So I will shoot at this mob of critters with my Satrap Radiant gun.
Nice. And just, I think this is the first time you shoot the thing, or is it?
Not sure I understand the question.
Like, have we seen the effect of the prismatic gun before on screen?
Not that I'm aware of.
No, I'm not aware of it as well. So it must be some rainbow colory, craziness that appears when you shoot it. But you describe what's happening.
I think what happens is you start to see like there's like a prism, almost like the barrel on a revolver,
Mm-hmm.
and light starts to flow into it, and you can start seeing like radiant colors beaming through the other side. So you're getting like that rainbow prismatic effect.
Mm-hmm.
And then I bring it to my shoulder and I pull the trigger. So let's see, 2d20 or 1d20. There's no advantage here.
Jesus
That is a 1.
You don't hit. You have to roll over the AC, which is a 2. So, but you start a fire, which seems to amuse the demon, and he laughs. So the radiant gun blasts its prismatic fires, and the trees and the reeds starts burning. Kazui.
I'm going to grab the bottle off of my belt and whisper to it, and then throw it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping to protect Altan as much as to hurt this demon.
Mm-hmm.
But it shatters, and it's a small water elemental.
So that is definitely working in your favor, fighting fire with water. Let's see. Do you actually use the... so you are wise. You don't have active or inactive slots. All your slots are active. It just costs you life essence.
Oh, they're all active? Oh, okay.
Yes, yeah. It's different to the deft.
Oh,
so the more life force you spend, the bigger the effect is. So if you say, I want to use the water elemental to protect Altan, I want to say that is 2 HP. That is a relatively minor spell and also fits with the water stuff. If you want instead to cause damage, I think it would be D6 life force, unless you now tell me, it takes longer time, I sacrifice an item or something.
Yes, I didn't have more time to prepare, so I have to go with what I can do quickly.
Get closer, maybe. Touch the demon. That would reduce the HP.
I will protect. I'm going to protect Altan.
Okay, cool.
So it'll cost me 2. So yes, I pitched it, and the water elemental soaks him and creates a barrier between him and the fire elemental.
Mm-hmm. And you can see
the flame demon.
Yes, the demon recoils from the water and moves like a step away from Altan. Okay, everybody has moved, and now we roll a d6 again. I think we do group initiative, and I think Altan is obviously the one who's acting first because you're the closest.
Do I get a second attack, or is that later?
Oh, no, that is actually true. You get a second attack. I'm sorry. Make your second attack before we go further.
All right. I rolled an 8, which is below 11 and above 2.
Strike. And you shoot the poor animals again.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Not looking at the Lions and Bears list at the moment.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Not great, but better than nothing.
Yeah.
Well, these are animals trying to kill us. As we had established, it doesn't count under that.
The animals don't want to kill you. But anyways, what is
attacking us?
The demon. Okay. The demon is attacking you.
So roll initiative.
Yeah, I say that Altan is the leader of the group, and we do group initiative. I think that is the quickest. So Altan
roll the d6.
Yeah, Stephen roll d6
and add 1.
That is a 6.
Wow.
Well,
Is that with that initiative bonus added?
No, so you actually have a 7. I can't beat it. So you all act first. Altan, what do you do? I mean, the demon is weak. You could still try to win its heart with your charm.
I mean, yeah,
It would probably mean, I'm sorry, it would probably mean that the others don't shoot at it if you really want to win his heart.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to pull him in for a kiss. Let's see if this works.
Okay.
I don't make good decisions with my life.
The water elemental is trying
And
to
neither should
protect
my
you.
characters.
So, given the shit that happened to the poor animals and the demon, you can roll your charisma, but with a disadvantage.
Oh, okay. So I'd be rolling 2d20.
And take the worst result.
Okay, let's see. Those are 2 17s.
Again?
Wow, that seems to be our number.
Okay, so you try to
Nope.
grab the
Didn't I roll
burning.
17 too?
You know, this. Yeah, go ahead.
You try to grab this fiery creature, and it is definitely surprised for a second, and you lean in for a kiss, and you think that could work. No,
Yeah.
and then it it growls with all its hatred, like a spews fire into your face.
Okay.
The water elemental is going to try to intercept.
Yeah.
And the water is actually protecting you from the fire. So the fire burns the water and evaporates, and Altan stands in like a cloud of steam, very steamy. But the protection now is obviously gone.
Yes.
What is the rest doing? I think Azure, I must assume that in your current state you act first.
Yep, I keep. Well, it's a shotgun. Do I need to reload, or is that just hand waving?
No, actually, you do need to reload it. You have to spend one of your actions to reload.
All right, reload.
But as you have 2 actions, you can then act.
Oh, okay, so I can do the other. All right, cool.
You have a lot of ammunition for that thing, clearly.
I rolled a 1.
Dude.
It bounces off.
So you, you shoot into the mass of animals, and they just scatter. Neither.
Altan, what do you want us to do?
What are the options here of what you're gonna do?
Kill or not kill, I guess.
I guess kill at this point. I don't think romance is gonna happen here.
Okay. So I will go ahead and roll. That's a 9.
That
Nice,
is
good.
a 9.
That's
So yes, roll your damage.
That is 2d12.
Holy shit.
Nice.
For 11.
11 is not too bad. For a second, you can actually all see its pretty sexy body. So the fiery flames, they die for a second, and you see this. It is pitch black. It is completely hairless. It is pretty much like lizardy. It has this demon eyes, not unlike Altan actually. So probably the sexiness is lost to most of you, but then it flares up again, and it rages. Kuzui.
I suppose I will try to attack the animals as well. Is there anything else that I can do?
I mean, how many HP do you still have?
I have 3.
3. And what spells do you have is the question. Augury, your elemental.
I can physically attack you. I don't.
Yeah.
Does it seem to be reeling or hurt?
Yes.
Okay. I will physically attack it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So here's my roll.
With what? With your
With my spear.
step. Yes.
Eight is under 10 and above its armor.
Mm-hmm.
This is not a firearm, however. So, point of damage.
1 point of damage.
Yes.
And so, do you throw the spear, or do you make like a?
No, I slash with it.
Mm-hmm. And you attack. Yeah, I would assume that like the moon witches actually have spears that can hurt demons.
There, yes, no, yeah. Well, when I pull the cover off the spear, it has markers. It is the blades carved with symbols.
Nice.
And it's a long enough bladed spear. It's actually used slashing fashion.
Mm-hmm.
It's rather. I mean, it can be thrust, but it has a single. It's bladed. And it is used more in a whirling sort of attack.
And
in
you
a similar fashion that you do with a quarterstaff.
Mm-hmm. You definitely connect, and you do hurt the demon, but not strong enough. And so now unleashes its fiery attack onto. I have to say, Altan.
That's fair.
So let's have a roll. Let's see. It's under a 17 and over. What's your AC?
I think, let's see, 2.
Okay, that should be possible. Nope. Reroll selected. No, I rolled an 18. How stupid is that?
Hooray.
So
for once, the terrible die rolls are in my favor.
there's the like this fiery tongue again that flares over you, and who knows? Maybe he did it, in order to seduce
who
you.
knows? Who knows?
Okay, next round. Altan, do the honors.
Oh, I mean, he licked me.
Sort of. He didn't burn you.
Yeah.
Although clearly he could have.
Yeah. I guess I'll try to lick him back. I'm sorry that like we are ERPing over here while the rest of the party are in combat.
It's the same scene, but you do have to roll the d6 first because maybe he licks you first.
Oh, okay. Right.
Don't die.
A 1, unfortunately.
A 1.
So we'll see.
So that should be doable. Reroll selected.
That's actually 2 with your initiative boost.
Oh,
Yes,
right. A 2.
that's
Okay.
true. I got a 3, so
Okay.
again, he I think he turns back into his tornado form, and moves through you with all the fire that he carries. Let's see.
Crap.
Where's the die roll gone?
Mm.
Is that a 1? Oh my god. It is a 1. Last roll total is a 1. He embraces you.
Oh, okay. I embrace him back.
I mean, it's a failed roll. What you want to read into it?
Yep.
Yeah,
Alton's reading into it. Alton, as I said, is very naive.
Mm-hmm.
He also
Charisma
hasn't really
check.
been in a relationship before, so
So I think that the demon by now is confused, clearly. Let's do the charisma check without the disadvantage.
Oh yeah, don't worry. I'll roll a 20 regardless.
Mhm.
Yeah, 19. Wonderful.
So I think Kuzui, what do you do? You see them both in some weird dance or embrace.
I'm desperately afraid that Altan's going to be killed.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, I think it's a little miraculous that he's
It is.
killed.
I know it is, really.
It's a 19 and a 1. That is a fucking miracle.
I mean,
Okay,
to be
so
fair,
I'm
I've
going
also
to-
rolled like twice above
Yes.
an 11. So
It's true, but also, I mean, there's also the fact that our friends there who are using, incredibly lethal weapons,
Mm-hmm.
at this point might kill you if they fire at the demon,
Mm-hmm.
because it's wrapped around you.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see I have a lot of choice. Soba,
What did you say?
I'm saying Soba.
Sober.
Do it.
She,
Do help.
how can I help?
You have my. Use me.
Asking the Ultra to help you. Make a saving throw.
Not likely, but I will try. That's just a D20, yes?
Mm-hmm. And you're rolling under your ST.
1.
Whoa, that is under your saving throw. You saved.
Yes.
Some crazy rolls today. So there is definitely like a split second where you think she takes over for good. She suppresses your
Yes.
personality and takes over. But she only steps forward. And she uses one of your spells, but takes the HP damage for herself. So what spell can she use?
Elementalist. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
And is there water in this area? You said it was swampy, right?
Yes. There's stagnant water everywhere.
Oh, there's stagnant water. So she could engulf the demon in swamp water if she's willing to take enough damage. Yes.
So she will take the damage, and you describe the powerful spell she can unleash.
She dips her hands. She dips my hands into the water, and speaks a name which is in that speech of hers that none of us understand.
Mm-hmm.
And she pulls her hands up out of the water, and a wave comes with it, like a breaking ocean wave.
Mm-hmm.
that comes and inundates Alton and the demon.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
So roll 2d6, please. And that is the water damage that a Soba creates.
8.
And 8 is enough to extinguish the flame and to cast away the demon. So for a second, Altan, you're hugging this really muscular, lizardy demon creature, and then it's gone.
Yeah. Oh well.
And
More fish
you
in the sea.